Hey guys, good morning. Hope you're all having a great day. I'm out for my walk as usual. It's a beautiful, sunny, warm day today. And yeah, today I want to talk about meditation like I always do. Meditation is the main thing that's changed my life, and this is why I stress it in every video. And what I'm going to talk about today is why I actually started meditating, like the main reason, and my story, a bit about myself, about why I got into it, and yeah, how it's changed my life in so many ways. And I would never stop meditating. Like, I really love meditating now. Like, when I first got into it, it was quite challenging, it was quite hard, and I didn't see the results straight away that much, but over time, you see the results more and more, and I'm going to get into why that is here as well. So, basically, like, why I started meditating was because, like, all through my, like, teenage years, all through pretty much my life, but it became more obvious to me as I got older, during high school and stuff, that I was always anxious and fidgety all the time, and I could never sit still, I could never concentrate, and I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 16. So, like, basically, like, I don't fully believe in the whole idea of learning disabilities and that now, but I want to talk about myself having it in a way that it was a real thing, but I basically reversed it from doing meditation, and I'm going to get into how that was and my story so you guys can understand a little bit. Maybe you can relate to if you've got ADHD or anxiety or something similar. And yeah, so like all through my life I was always fidgety, and I couldn't sit still, I couldn't concentrate in class at school. I would always like stare blankly at the teacher all the time. I'd be daydreaming, never really interested in anything besides things that I'm really passionate about, but when I'm really passionate about them, I was always really good at them. And this is how I got into exercise too, because that was a way for me to calm myself down, because I had all this extra energy, which created anxiety, because like it was within me and I didn't understand what it was at the time. But I didn't see other people around me having this issue. They could just sit down and watch TV, and just relax and chill and not bother them. But for me, I couldn't sit down and watch a movie. I couldn't concentrate on a movie unless it was a really, really good movie or something. I couldn't concentrate on anything unless I was really, really interested in it. Same thing with conversations. I would drift off. Yeah, at school, I did really well at subjects like maths that were quick and easy for me, and other things that took a bit more time and involved like reading and comprehension, I wasn't good at because I wasn't that interested in. So I really struggled with reading and stuff. But yeah, basically when I was 16, yeah, they diagnosed me with ADHD, and I realized what this was, which was just like having all this extra energy, which created anxiety. It created split energy, basically, which meant that I couldn't focus on one thing unless it was something that I really enjoyed. And yeah, so if you like have that ADHD, like, and you still identify with having it now and you're on medication or anything, this is basically what it is. The psychologists and psychiatrists and that won't say that's what it is, because they don't necessarily know it in this way or think of it in this way. They think of it as a disease. Now I don't think of it as a disease, I think of it as a blessing. Like, it's actually, like, if you have, like, this condition, like ADHD, like, you're actually really blessed, because, often, like, kids with ADHD are quite intelligent, usually, but if you don't manage your energy, you don't balance it out, and find things you like to focus on, then it can, create, like, a lot of stress, a lot of craziness in your life, which it did for me until I understood what it was. And yeah, so basically when I was 16, they diagnosed me. I was on Concerta, which is a bit like Ritalin, for about a year at school, which helped me to concentrate well, and as soon as they put me on medication, my grades went up through the roof. Literally, before I was an average student, and then I was getting top marks on pretty much everything that I enjoyed, which at the time I was doing all subjects that I enjoyed in year 11 and 12. So yeah, the teachers actually were quite amazed by my results. They thought I was a kind of genius, and really, like, there is a genius within all of us. And if you've got ADHD, which it means you have like probably a higher rate of energy, you're just born that way. That's all it is, really. It's not a bad thing. It can be a bad thing if you don't know about it, though. And basically that caused me to think quicker, and when I was able to focus, which was what the medication helped me to do at the time, I was able to do really, really well at school, and because I wasn't distracted anymore. But there were a lot of side effects from the medication, like I couldn't eat as much, and I couldn't sleep as well, and it would cause more anxiety in a way, so it wasn't helping me long term. So I realized this, and I only stayed on it for a year, and after that, as I was on it, I realized within myself on how to focus more as well. So I taught myself on how to actually focus myself. At this point, I wasn't into meditation yet, but that came later. But then I got off the medication for that reason, because I didn't want anxiety. I didn't want to not be able to eat and not be able to sleep very well. So yeah, that's what happened. And then yeah, my life really changed at this point when I was about 16. This was about 2012 too. And yeah, so after school, like everything, like I did well in everything. I got good results. I went to uni. Uni, my first year my results were just average, and like I can't say that I enjoyed it as much. But by second year, which is when I started meditating, that's when my life really started to change, and everything transformed in my life, and like I was less anxious, and I was on my path basically, and bringing things into my life more and more that I wanted. And this became faster and faster as I've gotten older, as I've done more meditating and got to know myself more. So yeah, basically, like, I was still quite anxious after school, even though like things were going well for me up until this point, and they always have been ever since. Even before that, they were going well for me, but it was slower, and I didn't notice it as much, and I had a lot of other issues before, like this turning point in my life when I was about 16, basically. And yeah, so in my second year of uni, it's when I started getting into meditation, to calm my mind a little bit, because I realized how anxious I was, and I couldn't sit still. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't do anything that I wasn't really interested in, because it was starting to annoy me, because I couldn't get things done. It would make everything take so long, because I couldn't focus. Like, I'd want to do it. I'd sit down to do an assignment, but it would just take me so long, because I would constantly get distracted, and I was just sick of this. So I looked up mindfulness. I picked up a book on mindfulness. I read that, and I did some exercises in that, which helped calm my mind a bit. And then that led me to doing meditations. So I started meditating just for like 10 minutes a day. At this point, it was really hard, because I had like a monkey mind all the time, like especially like having ADHD. Like, when I say I had it like as in I was identified with it at that point. Now I don't identify myself with it, even though I still have that energy, but I'm much more focused, if that makes sense. So I really want to explain that for anybody who like can relate to this. If you can't relate to this, it'll still help you, give you some insight of what it is, and how meditation can help you. But like, this video is especially like if you've got any kind of anxiety or ADD or whatever. So yeah, I realized that I couldn't sit still. So when I started meditating every day, yeah, it was really hard at first. I really hated it. But I just did it, sat down. I realized how much was going on in my head at this point, which before I had no idea of, obviously. Because before you start meditating, you don't have any idea of how your mind controls you, basically. But as you start meditating, the more and more you do it, you become more calm and you have more control over your thoughts and your mind, which then you can realize you can change your life in whatever way, and you can understand yourself better, and that will help you direct your life and do what you need to do and stay present throughout the day to do the things you need to do which are best for you. Like basically listening to your intuition. So you become more in touch with your intuition by meditating, which is what you want, because most of us who haven't done any meditating, haven't done like any kind of thing similar, will just run on autopilot all day, and basically your environment and the people around you are running your life in a way because you are not aware of how this is happening. And basically, like, because they've programmed you, and every time somebody talks to you, you know, that you respond and you trigger and you go along with it. But when you become more aware of what you're doing yourself, you can change your actions to go the way you want, and you know what that way is when you meditate more. So I hope this makes sense. So that's why I got into it, and the more I realized this and the things that I'm telling you guys, the more I've meditated for longer and longer. So like started with 10 minutes, then like it took about a year until I got up to like doing it for like 20 or 30 minutes. And I would just do this at night, usually just to calm down. So at this point, the results were there, but they weren't that noticeable like they are now. Like now, every day that I meditate, I notice a big difference. It's really, really extreme. But I have been doing it for over 2 years now. So yeah, it will take a little while, but put in the work and it is worth it. It's the best thing that you can do. Better than paying money to do any kind of course or any activity or having any kind of treatment. I mean, there could be things that are better, but I've got to say, like, it's the best thing you can do for free, and anybody can do it. Doesn't matter who you are, where you live, how much money you have. If you know what it is, then you can do it. And all you have to do is sit down and do nothing and listen to your breath. That's all you have to do to change your life. It's so simple that people think it's too simple to do anything. Like, why would that work? Well, you have to try it to see. So yeah, I want to tell you guys that. So if you haven't started meditating, try it out. Just do it for 10 minutes a day, and just keep doing it. Even if you don't see results straight away, you'll probably just at least feel calmer throughout your day. Anyway, so that's a bit of why I got into it and how it's changed my life. Like, I cannot say all the answers in one video, but like, it's just made me become so much more aware. And when you're more aware, you're in control of your life. And then when you're in control, that basically, think of control like of your life, that's true freedom, true power. I have so much more power to do what I want now. And like true freedom. Like, I have more money. I've created more money in my life. I'm able to support myself financially. I've been able to for almost 2 years now. And my health has improved. My fitness has improved. I felt better. I've gotten rid of a lot of physical pains that I've had. And my eating disorder that I had before, that's gone away, although I'm still skinny. The mindset that I had when I was a teenager that created all these disordered eating patterns has gone. So that's what I want to say in this video. I will talk more about that in another video I'm going to do about my eating disorder, that I had in the past, because I want to address what it actually is rather than just a physical thing, which most people probably see it as. So yeah, that has changed. My relationships have gotten better. Like, a lot of changes happened in my life. Like, a lot of my friends that I used to hang out with, we used to go out and drink all the time. I had a relationship that I was in for over a year, about 18 months, where I used to be a heavy drinker, hanging out with this like guy, and that was a big part of my life, and it wasn't a good influence in my life. So that changed when I started meditating. That I broke up with him. I realized I didn't want to be with him anymore, and at the same time, I didn't break up with my friends, but a lot of my friends just drifted off. So I have, in a way, less friends now, which I kind of hated at the time, which was kind of like sad, like, why do I have no friends? But I realize why that is now, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore, and I'm actually quite happy about it because I really enjoy my own company. And before, I realized when I had all these friends, I was hanging out with like a lot of people. I went to parties all the time. I had all these people that I called my friends, but most of them weren't really my friends, you know? They were just people that I hung out with to feel better about myself in a way. Because we'd often just get drunk, party. At the time, it felt like I was having a good time, but I think I probably wasn't having as much fun as I thought I was. And I know now, the thought of me going out and clubbing now really doesn't interest me at all. I do not enjoy it. I haven't been out partying for, I don't remember the last time, probably about a year ago. But before that, I was going out, I was traveling, I went to Chile. While I was studying at uni, we'd party 3 times a week sometimes, drink a lot, feel hungover the next day, smoke weed. So I did all these things. So I want to tell you guys just that I'm no angel. Done a lot of things that I don't necessarily regret. I'm glad I did these things at that point in my time to get, because I felt like I needed to do them, you know. But in a way, I guess I regret letting myself do them for so long, because when you come to a certain point, you realize that this activity isn't serving you anymore. Like, I let that go on for a little bit longer than I could have. So I don't necessarily regret that, because it's in the past now, it doesn't matter. But I mean, that's something that I could have changed. So yeah, like, I don't know if any of this stuff relates to you. Like, if you're at the moment like hanging out with people you don't really like, and you're going out partying and that stuff, and that's all cool. Like, I used to, like, you wouldn't believe it now, but I used to be a really big party animal, and I used to really love that, and I used to just like do anything to go out and drink with friends. Like, and now I'm to the total opposite. Like, I'll go out, I'll still go out with people if I want to hang out with those specific people. I won't go out with just anybody. And I won't, I'll sit, and if they're drinking, they can drink, I don't mind, but I just won't drink. So yeah, and I don't hang out with people that get offended by that, because they're not people I want to hang out with. So yeah, basically I went off a bit of a tangent, but I just wanted to say that that was another thing that shifted in my life. So my relationships, the bad ones, they fell away. I've got some really good friends in my life now, but I don't have as many friends as I had before. But the ones that are my real friends that I've known for my whole life, those relationships have become stronger. So that's something I'm really happy about, and I've also attracted more people that are like-minded into my life as well. So yeah, relationships have gotten way better, and my social life has gotten better, even though it is less now. I'm a lot more focused on myself and doing my work, but that's what I love to do, you know. So, you know, that's what it is. And yeah, I'm making way more money, financially independent, and my health is better. My general mood is better all the time. I'm not always in a good mood, but 90% of the time I am pretty happy, and I'm pretty good, and I'm pretty content within my life. But having said that, doesn't mean that I don't still get stressed out occasionally, and like I'm still talking to people sometimes that I don't want to, because I work with people, and sometimes if they're there, you have to deal with that situation. And I've talked about this before. Like sometimes life doesn't, just because things get better in your life doesn't mean that everything is good all the time. It's just you see it as being good all the time. Even if there are a lot of challenges that come up, and constantly every day there are challenges that come up in my life, but I'm just so much more able to deal with them now. So that's how meditation has changed my life too. Like, I've just been able to deal with everything so much more easily. Sorry. But yeah, so if you've got any questions about this, if you want to share anything, comment below. And if you would like help with coaching on how to meditate, or anything that you're struggling with or going through at the time, at this present time, there's a link below. If you want to do coaching with me, you can do that. Like, you can do it for one-off, or you can do multiple sessions. That's up to you. And yeah, I'm going to create more videos like this, so give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, have a great day. See you guys.